Is the United States really that dependent on China's rare earths? Could this be a camp narrative? Trump waited for a whole day before angrily stating that he would impose additional tariffs to counterattack. Is it really related to rare earths? This new stage of the Sino-US game may involve more than what you see now. Its historical significance is more important. It is both a continuation of the previous game and a specific manifestation of the offensive and defensive aliens in the new stage. The connotation inside is very rich. Today we will start with rare earths and explain them to you slowly. Let's get started with the connotation and characteristics of this new stage of the game. In the past few days, as our country has strengthened the control of rare earth-related technologies and overseas-related materials, various sounds seep into the dust. Some people say that without China's rare earth industry chain, the whole world will be unable to function. Some people say that the United States does not need China's rare earth processing at all. Stop being self-indulgent, open your eyes and look at the world and reflect on it. So what is the situation of the game between China and the United States regarding rare earths? To figure this out, it's actually very simple. We put objective facts on our heads to let us know. Let's just put the objective facts on the table and sort them out. In this video, we will fully demonstrate this issue from various dimensions. If anyone else challenges you on this issue in the future, just shoot the video on his face and don't ask me if it works or not. Just take a picture and that's it. Once you take a picture, no one will hear anything. Okay, let's clarify a fact first. That is, the United States itself is an importer and exporter of rare earth minerals and gold mines. So it really has little dependence on China's rare earths. Hey, but some groups should not rush to climax in the furnace yet. The United States is not dependent on minerals and can use rare earth mineral raw materials. Convert this aspect into high-value rare earth minerals and metals. The United States is very dependent on China. The degree of dependence may be greater than some people imagine, because the rare earths we are talking about are not rare earth minerals, but rare earth elements. It is a set of 15 types including blue gas elements plus B and resistance. A general name for a total of 17 metals and elements including. They are divided into clear rare earths, medium rare earths, tear rare earths, and silk tears. These 4 types of rare earth elements are used in modern high-tech applications. Plays an irreplaceable key role. We usually use. Pay attention, I'm going to start popping vegetables and food. In battery catalysts, glass polishing materials, swimming pool materials. Using magnet alloys and reactions such as Hauss, nuclear magnetic resonance. Use magnet stabilizers, luminous agents, and high-temperature magnet additives. Ceramic laser, aluminum alloy, fuel cell, etc. According to the United States released in March 2025. 2025 Mineral Commodity Summary shows there is no fully commercial rare earth separation facility in the United States. So when it comes to rare earth compounds and metals, the United States' net import dependence is very high. Some rare earth elements have even reached 100% import dependence. For example, American ants and anti. In 2024, we were 100% dependent on imports. Among them, the domestic consumption of ant compounds and metals in the United States. It is expected to be 500 tons. But almost all can only be imported from China, because the southern provinces of China, including Fujian, Guangdong, and Jiangxi, produces most of the world's ants. Similarly, in the fields of automobiles, robots, drones, etc., and its important rare earth magnets, almost all come from China, such as North America and Europe. Nearly 40,000 tons of rare earth magnets need to be purchased every year. Almost all have to be bought from China. Factories invested by Japan in China and Vietnam. It can also produce about 25,000 tons per year. But basically they are used for supply. Japan and South Korea's automobile manufacturing industry. Not even enough. We also need to purchase part of China's annual output of more than 200,000 tons. Many of these are assembled into Chinese factories, in motors and other equipment manufactured, as part of China's huge manufacturing exports to the world, and countries outside Asia, mainly Germany and Finland every year. A production of less than 2,000 tons is indeed not enough. And that's just China, which controls about 70% of the world's rare earth mining. 90% rare earth split yogi, 93% of magnet manufacturing, and over 99% of 3 key rare earth elements for heat-resistant magnets and more. It's just part of the industry's leading capabilities. Faced with such a landslide, have Europe and the United States ever thought about getting rid of the chip dilemma in China? Rely on your own efforts to get out of the predicament of key strategic minerals. Actually, there is. For example, Germany's VAC Group. It is planned to be in Sumter, South Carolina, USA, opening a factory with an annual production capacity of 2,000 tons. But judging from the speed of the United States, the factory requires an 18-month training cycle. Only then can American employees be put to work. That is to say, look at the most optimistic scenario. It will take another year and a half for the plant to increase production capacity. For example, the Canadian NEO company is located in Malva, Estonia. A new building with an initial capacity of 2,000 tons was built. There are already some facilities. A factory equipped with a production capacity of 5,000 tons. Optimistic estimate. After integrating Eastern European technology and Russian minerals, the plant's production capacity can reach 2,000 tons in 3 years' time. Another example is the United States. MP Materials, a company funded by the Pentagon. New factories are being built quickly to increase production. The company's 24-year production of Asian chemical products is 1,300 tons. It also claims to produce 1,000 tons of female iron shed magnets by the end of this year. What kind of water bottle is this? Let's put it this way. The output of this product in my country in 2018 was 38,000 tons per year. By 2024, the output will be 300,000 tons. I have to say that Europe and the United States are really working hard. But according to the latest report released by the International Energy Agency, Global Critical Minerals Outlook 2025 report shows China dominates 19 of 20 strategic minerals. The average refining capacity and market share is about 70%. In addition, in terms of minerals such as tan, Ti, and Fan, they are different from other countries. Or lack of viable alternatives. What do you say about this situation? Netizens have something to say that is very apt. We didn't have steel back then. Only the will of the steel class. Nowadays, we really have no shortage of steel. I hope you also have the will of the steel class. Facing this time of control. Center for Strategic and International Studies. Critical minerals expert Gracelyn Baskren. But he told the truth. It's called obvious. China has sufficient strength and bargaining chips. It's not just US companies that must comply with this new regulation. Companies around the world must also comply. I'm afraid this is very representative of the current mainstream judgment in Europe and the United States. Good. Here we are. Everyone should understand that we are in the field of rare earth elements. How is the broken tooth leading? Then some people may want to ask, can the United States first suspend the purchase and use of some rare earth elements? Reintegrate the industrial chain. Then produce it yourself to get rid of us? If rare earth elements only have such effects in specific fields. So the United States can indeed do this. The trouble is that rare earth elements are used so widely. America has no time window. Let me give examples from 3 fields. It will be clear to everyone. It is said that the thickest leg of American hegemony is its military hegemony. The most important thing in military hegemony is sea power. Right. So what do rare earth elements mean to the US military in the field of sea power? According to Pentagon data, a US military's latest nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, Virginia submarines, just need 9,200 pounds, approximately 4,140 kilograms of rare earth elements. The pride of the US Air Force and aircraft carrier-based aircraft. An F-35 fighter jet costs more than 900 pounds. Approximately 405 kilograms of rare earth elements. An Arleigh Burke-class destroyer costs 5,200 pounds. Approximately 2,340 kilograms of rare earth elements. A power missile requires 400 grams. Is this the end? Not really. Rare earths are widely used in guidance. Electronic stations for controlling motors and robots. Directed energy weapons. Weapon aiming. Electrically driven machines. Radar. Sound wax. Chemical detection and other fields. U.S. military radar system, sound wax energizer, machine tool starter motor, optical aiming weapon, jamming equipment, area denial system, predator drone, wait for specific areas, have a decisive impact. What is decisive influence? That means there are no rare earths. These things are very difficult to make. It may even be discontinued. If the production of military products is reduced, even property, how can the United States maintain its military hegemony? So no rare earths. The thickest thigh of American hegemony. Military hegemony has been abolished. What about the other legs of American hegemony? For example, technological hegemony. Previously AI. What about the fields of robotics? In order to cooperate with the capital market. Unparalleled in the world. Little did he know that the more advanced he became, the greater the dependence on rare earths. Because of robots. Especially humanoid robots. Medium drive system, control system and braking system, all require the use of rare earth magnetic materials. A Tesla humanoid robot requires approximately 3.5 kilograms of high performance. Women's iron shed magnetic materials. What about AI? It was fundamentally affected. Because ASML and applied materials. Semiconductor-related manufacturing machines. It contains precision lasers, magnets and other parts, particularly dependent on rare earths. What about chip manufacturing? It's not just a machine problem either. Like semiconductor materials, surface treatment and packaging testing, etc. Especially in advanced processes below 14 nanometers. Rare earths are even more indispensable. What about this time? The situation is very interesting. Just use the words of netizens. This is called, America wants to cut off our bread. We cut off his face directly. Countries around the world that are capable now. Everyone is trying their best. Let yourself be the first country to gain technological leadership. What if the supply of rare earths in the high-tech field of the United States is cut off at this time? Let it miss this historic opportunity. Then the United States will not talk about maintaining hegemony in the future. How else can he compete globally? So the United States cannot afford to wait. The last area is people's livelihood applications. Although it seems that it has nothing to do with competition between major powers. But it is likely to be the area that ultimately determines the success or failure of great power competition. Because it concerns every common person. Or the ones from Musk. An example of an industry that was once turned into a faith. A Tesla requires about 1.5 to 3 kilograms of rare earths, mainly used for permanent magnets in high-performance motors. Although Tesla has been known as the next generation of permanent magnet motors will not use rare earth materials at all. But in fact, Tesla's current high-end models still use rare earth permanent magnet motors to ensure its high-performance requirements. Of course, SpaceX is in the aerospace field. It is inevitable to use various magnetic materials, such as permanent magnet alloy. Therefore, China's rare earth industry cannot be bypassed. In addition, corresponding to some daily industrial products, such as energy-saving elevators and cheap air conditioners, it requires the use of rare earths. This may also be why air conditioners are so expensive in Europe and the United States. One of the factors besides labor being too expensive, and current mobile phones and displays. Rare earth materials are also needed. So if the supply of rare earth materials in the field of people's livelihood is cut off, American life, I'm afraid it will drop by more than one level. Let's not talk about the voting issue at this time. Just internal contradictions. I'm afraid it can't be solved with zero-yuan purchases. But what if you want to transfer internal conflicts to the outside? Without rare earths and high technology, education would be impossible. Even military operations are unable to take place due to lack of rare earths. At this time, the United States is still decoupling China's rare earth industry chain. Is it possible to develop your own rare earth industry in silence? The answer is too obvious. Then the United States can talk to us at the same time. Are you going to Shenzhen in secret? Let's put it this way. Current situation of global rare earth grain storage. China is taking the lead in breaking ties. 13,000 tons of carbon condensation reserves. China accounts for 44 million tons, 34% of the world's. Next is Vietnam, Brazil, and Russia, almost half that of China. The United States itself only has 2.3 million tons. It is 1.8% of global grain reserves, about 1/20th of China. Not only is the total amount insufficient, there will also be big problems with its mining and subsequent withdrawals. Why? Because of the mining and storage of rare earths. Will produce a lot of wastewater and waste. Will cause serious pollution to the environment. However, the United States and its allies are lagging behind in the development of environmentally friendly mining technologies. Its high environmental costs, limiting the development speed of their rare earth industry. In fact, the pollution is huge. It's also something some people like to use to talk about things. The implication is that, even if you admit that China is very powerful in the field of rare earths, but it's not in exchange for environment and pollution, then there's that set of something. The ancient rhetoric about the rise of a great country with respect to small people and old age. Let the internet be full of joy. What about China? In the past, it was indeed the hardest hit area for this problem. But after many years of investment, China cooperates through technological upgrading and policy supervision. Nowadays, technology such as green mining and recycling are vigorously promoted. It has become the focus of industry development. The impact of the rare earth industry on the environment is not only greatly reduced, it has even become a competitive advantage and industry barrier compared to other countries. So let's analyze this trip. I think the answer is obvious. Is the United States really so dependent on China's rare earth industry? This time, China's rare earth control has stuck in the neck of the United States. This is not a camp narrative. Rather, it is an expression of substantive truth-seeking. It is precisely because of the huge advantages of rare earths in China. This control can be seen as China's previous, after proactive geopolitical planning, take the initiative on the industrial and technical side. In terms of China's consistent gaming techniques and rankings, when we take the initiative, that's when things are about to change. This is also the beginning of China's continued trend. In various games over the past few years, we should also be able to clearly perceive. Once China starts to enlighten, then the end of the game seems to be doomed. So look at it from this perspective. It seems that Trump's violent outbursts are very reasonable. After all, as a world overlord, over the past almost 100 years, who dares to challenge the United States like this? Or who dares to make such a challenge? No one is doing well now. So for Trump, the President of the United States, China's counterattack, especially like rare earths, it was China who took the initiative, directly hit the United States' 7-inch counterattack. It can be said that the older girl is making the sedan chair. First time. Of course she's going to be angry. And it must be done with brain cultivation into anger. It suits his identity. But is Trump really angry because of rare earths? If it is true, with his character, he can still have the will to hate love. On the 9th estate. That is, on the 10th domestic time. Keep it low-key first. Make some empty orders. Will you start posting a 1,000-word essay the next day? This is not in line with the habits of our president. So why does Trump do such a show? This is the focus of our next issue. Because this is not just a rare earth issue. It's not a world rule, or the issue of dominance, but a trader who objectively has to be short-sighted. Stage results due to industrial rationing, with midterm elections looming, and the question of what kind of performance to perform. Is it difficult to understand? It doesn't matter. We will give you a detailed analysis in the next issue. All right. That's it for today's video. We are external editors, a group of people who specialize in business history. Comrades. See you next time.